I think this is LeBron's plan. I think he wants to pass up Kareem. If he pass up Kareem in point, we all got to shut the hell up.
If LeBron James ended up the #1 scorer of all time, top 5 in assists and top 5 in rebounds, you cannot do nothing but have the conversation of who's the greatest of all time. The conversation's already happening.
He's 6'8", 285, runs like the wind, jumps out of the gym.
I don't think he's a Michael, I don't think he's a Kobe, I think he's a LeBron.
The guy who's a fast pass first thinker has beaten out 2 dominant scorers.
You don't think of him as that. He doesn't approach the game as that. But when you look at the records, they are that. But who's the best scorer?
It'd be LeBron.
If you think you know, you don't know. Okay? Until you're around him every day, coaching him, you're seeing his mind, you're seeing his adjustments, seeing the way he leads the group. If you think you know, you don't know.
Playing at such a high level, like LeBron is 38, he's doing things at such an elite level. I think sometimes we forget how hard that is.
It makes no sense. You know, you almost take it for granted.
You look at the skill set. There's nobody that has ever played the game of basketball that can do what LeBron James does. Nobody. He's still at the top of the discussion in the year 20.
See, we're watching LeBron James. This is his time. This is his era, and he's dominating this era.
I look at from the neck up, from a concentration standpoint, and a game planning standpoint, LeBron James is head and shoulders above any of these things.
Pressure is the word today, and no other player has had or overachieved like LeBron James did over his NBA career.
I look at LeBron and what he's done is mind-blowing with what he's had to work with. And what I mean by what he's had to work with, LeBron James came straight from high school. He didn't go to college. He's taken every rookie coach he's had to the NBA Finals. So from an educational standpoint and a knowledge base, where did this brain come from? I mean, he's the Einstein of basketball because he can look at your coach, figure out your defensive scheme, he can look at your substitution pattern, then he can come back and put together a game plan, and then he can go out and implement it.
Cavaliers have LeBron James. He's the best there is.
Do you think he's better than Jordan?
Oh yeah. From the moment he walked in the league, his teams won.
You know, very few players, I'm trying to think if there's anybody besides LeBron that has had that combination of speed and size and athleticism. LeBron is, I think, the greatest player to ever play.
Bron started in 03. By 2005, Bron was the best player in the NBA. In 2020, he was still the best player in the NBA. He was the best player in the NBA no matter what the game did.
I mean, what he's doing with his numbers-wise is crazy.
I'm very vocal. I think LeBron is the best player that's ever played the game. When he came in the league, from day one, he knew how to involve his teammates to win. I think LeBron in any generation would be doing what he's doing right now. At the end of the day, I firmly believe that he's the best basketball player in the history of the game.
I was like, how are you a player coach? How's that a thing? But after going to the Lakers, I understand how a player could be a player coach. Not only playing the game, when LeBron plays the games, he's thinking the game too, and he's low-key thinking for 2 other players also. I definitely think like he's more of a player coach than just a player when it comes to just the cerebral part of the game.
It's just crazy how many all-time lists. #1 for minutes, #1 for games played, 9th for three-pointers, 4th for free throws made. It speaks to the versatility of his game, beyond the longevity. He's so good at everything.
LeBron James, to me, when you think about all-around basketball player, he probably is the best of all time, an all-around basketball player.
And he's been the best no matter what. When you look at the teams that Bron has carried to championship or carried to the finals, MJ didn't beat the greatest team ever assembled, nor did he run up against the greatest team ever assembled every year.
Obviously, the numbers that he put up, he's one of a kind. Man, what he's doing has never been done before, so that speaks volumes.
There is no denying like his greatness in terms of what he can do on the court. And like sometimes even when you're playing against him, you're in awe. But overall, just presence and his IQ, like all that stuff, like we all talk about it.
It's hard to be LeBron James because all eyes are on you. But he's handled it extremely well. He gave the keys to the whole entire business to an 18-year-old kid, and now he's 38 years old and he's still dominating. I don't think we should be surprised. I think we should congratulate him and celebrate him as much as possible.
Tremendous that he can still play like this in his year 20. The athleticism is incredible.
For a young guy coming into the league, his strength, his athleticism, his basketball intellect, his feel for the game was just incredible.
I'm going to address the word pressure. No athlete in the history, not just in basketball, but in history of sports, have had the pressure that LeBron James has had since the age of 16.
To lace him up, to go against him for the first time, you're kind of blown away like this. He has a seasoned game, he has experience, he has a great feel, and he was like the first guy out of high school directly into the NBA who didn't need to ease his way in. I mean, he came in with a big splash, he asserted himself, he let everybody know that he was the real deal.
I definitely think people take it for granted how great he really is, just the things that he's done. He went 9 finals in a row, and if you look at some of those teams, you're like, who else did he have to really help him? It was a lot going on for him to still make it to the finals in those years.
His ability to prepare himself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, game to game, day to day. I've always believed in LeBron James. He's the greatest player the basketball universe has ever seen.
In my mind, LeBron James is the greatest basketball player who ever lived. LeBron James is the greatest player ever.
That's what I say. I
Greater than Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I think so.
Everybody's fight with LeBron is that he doesn't have the killer mentality. I seen that man in the playoffs. He's got the killer mentality, though.
You get used to just championships and accomplishment, period.
LeBron James is probably the greatest basketball player